Hi everyone, welcome to Research Writing for January 2017. My name is Tammy Stevenson. I'll be your instructor for these next 8 weeks. And I typically do a video announcement each week. Every once in a while, if there's not a whole lot that I feel needs to be specifically done through video, it'll just be a typed up announcement. But in general, I try to do a video announcement each week. The great thing about this course, when it was updated, is that when they went through and updated it, they actually created a video audio script so that everything is explained to you for what is due that week. So that's a huge bonus coming straight from them. But I'll still be doing things each week, maybe things I notice that are done incorrectly or correctly, overall or more often than other times, nuances about the course that maybe might not be caught in the video, things like that. So I'd like to walk through the syllabus. I know the video that you'll see for week 1 does that as well. It takes you through the syllabus. What I'd like to do is highlight some things that do sometimes get missed overall or not seen as clearly overall. So I'll start going through that, and then we'll talk a little bit about week 1, which is also the video for that, and I'll just hit a couple things that I think needs a little bit more emphasis, just to make sure we get everything and know everything that we need to do for the week. So let me introduce you a little bit more about myself. My name is Tammy. I live in Elgin, a suburb of Chicago, with my husband and 3 kids, and I've been teaching for MDL for 4 years because my second child was born a couple weeks after I started teaching, or before I started teaching, so that's how I remember it. I worked at Awana for many years, writing, developing, editing curriculum, and then I left to stay home with our daughter, who is almost 6, our oldest. And I do a lot of freelance work for various companies and ministries around the area and nationwide. So writing and editing and things like that are my passion. I love taking something that's written and making it even better. I love writing. I love tweaking things to make it even better. And one of the things that I learned throughout the course of my master's and even just working is that there's always something to tweak and edit and work. And so you do have to find a place where you can just stop. But in general, before you get to that point, there's always something, a word that can be tweaked or a phrase that can be condensed from 5 words into 1 or 2, and ways to make things better. So that's something that I've learned over the years. And so hopefully as we go through this course, I'll be able to help you with that. So let's get into the syllabus. You can see all the reading, the videos, the scripts for each week that tell you what to do for each week. That's very important. Will help you a lot as you go through the course. Discussion boards are due Friday at 11:59 Central Time, so Chicago time where Moody is. If your initial post is past that, the best you can do is half credit. If you are able to respond to at least 2 other students in the course of the weekend by Monday night at 11:59 p.m., you'll still be able to get some credit. But if your first initial post isn't posted by Friday at 11:59 p.m., then at least half credit is taken off, because that right there starts to take away the time that other people have to respond to you. So please make that a priority. Something else to note that they do note in the syllabus is that these are scaffolding assignments throughout this course. They build on each other. So this week you'll be working on your title page and your research proposal, which will contain your thesis. And then next week you'll be working on how to format sources, and then you'll be working on your outline and your works cited, and those things build on each other. So by the end of week 3, you'll be sending me not just your outline and works cited, but your title page, research proposal, outline, and works cited. So it builds on each other. So each week, when you get feedback from me, you incorporate that, and then that is submitted to me again with the additional assignment that's due. Let's see. Everything due, if you've taken a course before, you know this, everything is due Monday, 11:59 p.m. Central Time. If there is some extenuating circumstance that keeps you from submitting something on time, please get in touch with me, and we can talk through it and work it out. Let's see, what's next? Formatting. This is something that I often see a lot of people missing. If it's just a quick assignment or it's not part of the actual paper, the formatting seems to sometimes not happen and go out the window. So keep consistent in your submissions, because there are some things that are not going to be in your paper, but you still submit them. So make sure it's, Word document. If you don't have Word, you're using Pages or OpenOffice or whether you need to export it as a Word document so I can open it. Make sure your name, student ID number, the date, everything's at the top. Regular letter, 8.5 by 11 paper. Stick to the very familiar fonts like Times New Roman. Make sure it's always double spaced, 1-inch margins. So even if it's not part of the paper, make sure it follows those guidelines. Late work policy that MDL has established. If it's submitted past Monday night, it gets a 5% reduction per day, which if you go 5, 6, 7 days, that's a pretty significant deduction. MDL does not allow extra credit, so just keep up with everything, and that should negate the need for extra credit. Don't forget to mark off your reading. Each week there's reading that you'll be doing, and you need to mark that off in Blackboard. I had a couple students last term who forgot to do it or did it, and then they did the reading, but they didn't mark it off, and so we're to the end of the semester, and there were like 3 weeks of reading that they hadn't designated as being marked off yet when they did actually do it. So make sure you keep up with that as well. And inside the resource folder each week is the specifics for the assignment for that week. So don't just rely on the blurb that you see in the lesson for that week. That's a shortened version. Make sure you go to the assignment that's in that resource folder for the week, and that gives you very specifics. And that's what all the rubrics are created off of. When I grade based on a rubric, and that rubric is based on the assignment that you see. So you may not have the rubric, but basically the rubric is the assignment for the week. So make sure you look at that and not just the shortened, abridged version that's in the lesson itself. I think that is it for the syllabus. Coming into week 1, you can see all the reading and the various things to take a look at. And let's see, things I wanted to note. One of the biggest things is make sure you use the template that MDL has provided. That will save you a lot of headache, a lot of trouble, a lot of time, because the template is already there. And that's in the resources folder for the course. And then in that resources folder is another one called Resources for GSU 11-12 Research Writing. And the template is in there. There's also supplemental reading and some other things that are good to take note of in there. So there's a lot of folders in the course. Make sure that you look in those folders and look in anything that says resource on it. Make sure you check those out. But the biggest thing is use the template that MDL has provided, because that will save you a lot of time and effort, especially as we move later on to pagination and formatting for works cited and all these other things that will save you a lot of time and effort. So then for this week, you'll be working on your title page, which will take you probably all of about 2 minutes. It's very simple. It's like name and the title of your piece and date and student ID and the course name and things like that. The thesis, your research proposal, and your thesis, that will take some more work, because you're going to need to go and look at the topic list that's in the week 1 resource folder. Look at that topic list. You'll pick the topic that you want to eventually write your entire paper on, and the instructions will lead you through your reading, especially your Lester and Lester, your reading, and the topic list will help you pick your topic for the paper, and will help you develop that research proposal and thesis. Your research proposal is a paragraph. It is leading up to your thesis and what you're going to be talking about in your paper. So your thesis will be in that research proposal, but there should be more text and content in there. Something I like to say up front too is everything in this course for the paper needs to be written in third person. I can attach a link to this announcement for that. So third person is like I and me, we, words like that are first person, and then you, your, those are words like second person. Third person is he, she, they, it. You keep yourself out of it, and you don't directly talk to the person. When you're writing, you're not directly talking to the person that is reading. Since it's an academic paper, it has to be more formal, which means no me, I, we, you, your. It's he, she, they, it. So you're taking yourself out of it more, because it is a research-based paper. You want people to agree with you in the end, and the less that you are involved in it and your personal opinions are involved in it, and the less of you that they see, and they see more than just the data, the more they're likely they would be to agree with you. So I'll make that note up front just so you know from here on out, everything needs to be written in third person for the paper. So get your topic list, get your research proposal and your thesis done. Something, I think there's a checklist in Lester and Lester that talks about the thesis and how to develop that and write that. And the Purdue OWL website, that will be something you will want to go to every time you're working on something for the course, pretty much. Your thesis, it needs to express your position in one full sentence. It can't be a question. It's not just about your topic. It has to be very specific. It limits the subject of what you're talking about and makes it more narrow and brings it to a single issue. It makes it investigative, like you're going to prove something. You're going to prove to the reader that this statement is true. And it also points to the conclusion that you're going to end up drawing. And then this basically will lead you to the types of sources and things that you want to use. But so make sure your thesis has a strong declarative sentence and it's focused. And as we go through, I'll be giving you feedback on that. Then once I start getting those in, I'll be able to give you feedback on those. I believe that is it. Discussion board, you're going to be reading some info off of a website and then rewriting the paragraph to make it more academic, which is part of what I just mentioned, is writing in third person and not first or second. And then I'll be in the discussion board too, making comments and notes and things like that. So I believe that is it. If I think of anything else along the way, I'll post another announcement. I look forward to these next 8 weeks with you, and I hope you have a great week.